Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your go-to source for today's top stories. Today, we're covering everything from election interference and school shootings to Lego's sustainability efforts. Let's get started. First up, White House National Security Coordinator John Kirby addressed a newly released Department of Justice (DOJ) report accusing Russia of actively working to influence the upcoming U.S. presidential election. Kirby refrained from naming who Russia might want in the White House, but he stressed that Russia's goal is clear: to divide Americans. According to the DOJ, Russian efforts are being channeled through popular influencers and political commentators, most of whom are unaware that they are promoting Kremlin-driven narratives. Even more concerning, Kirby confirmed that U.S. intelligence has linked Russian President Vladimir Putin to this operation. But it's not just Russia involved in election interference. Kirby also confirmed that Iran is making efforts to sway the election, with specific intent to damage former President Donald Trump's campaign. This revelation adds another layer of complexity as both nations target U.S. democracy. In military news, The New Yorker has published previously unseen photographs from the 2005 Haditha massacre, a tragic incident where U.S. Marines killed 24 Iraqi civilians, including women and children, in retaliation for a Marine being killed by an IED. These long-suppressed images, taken by Marines at the scene, serve as crucial evidence of one of the Iraq War's darkest moments. Despite the gravity of the incident, all charges against the Marines involved were eventually dropped. According to General Michael Hagee, the military deliberately withheld the photos from public view, helping avoid full prosecution. After a years-long legal battle, The New Yorker obtained the images and spoke with victims' families, who are seeking truth and closure. For the first time, the world can now witness the aftermath of the massacre, a chapter in the Iraq War that has remained largely hidden. The DOJ's report sheds light on a Tennessee-based media network, Tenet Media, which has been accused of receiving $9.7 million from Russia's state-backed RT. The money was funneled to production companies associated with prominent conservative commentators, reportedly Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, and Dave Rubin. Tenet Media, owned by Lauren Chen, a conservative influencer, and her husband Liam Donovan, kept their commentators in the dark about the source of these funds by creating a fake persona named Eduard Grigorian. Further indictments reveal that RT employees Konstantin Kalashnikov and Elena Afanasieva were key players behind the scenes, pushing pro-Russian content through Tenet Media. Interestingly, RT's response to these allegations was dismissive and mocking, with a statement that included 2016 called and wants its cliches back, and we gotta earn our Kremlin paycheck somehow. It seems the accusations were met with sarcasm rather than seriousness. Next, President Biden has renewed his call for a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, following a tragic school shooting at Appalachia High School in Georgia. The shooter, a 14-year-old student, killed 2 students and 2 teachers, while 9 others were hospitalized. According to the FBI, they were alerted to the shooter's online threats back in May 2023. The information was passed to local law enforcement, but at the time, investigators stated they lacked sufficient evidence for an arrest. Unfortunately, over a year later, this failure to act led to a devastating outcome. In response, Biden reiterated that banning assault weapons is crucial to preventing further tragedies like this one. Gun control has once again become a focal point in U.S. politics, with Biden's administration calling for decisive action. Now let's turn to a different topic: sustainability. Lego has announced its ambitious goal to replace fossil fuels in its bricks with renewable and recycled plastic by 2032. In its effort to move away from oil-based plastic, the company has tested over 600 materials. Lego's CEO, Niels Christiansen, revealed that they've signed long-term deals with suppliers and are willing to pay up to 70% more for certified renewable resin. Despite the rising production costs, Lego reassures customers that prices won't increase. Thanks to its family-owned structure, the company can absorb the higher expenses without passing them on to consumers. By 2026, Lego aims for over half of its resin to be sustainably sourced, compared to 30% in early 2024. This bold move comes as oil companies are making virgin plastic cheaper, but Lego is choosing to prioritize sustainability over cost savings. Shifting gears to the economy, job openings in the U.S. fell to 7.7 million in July, down from a revised 7.9 million in June, according to the Labor Department's JOLTS report. The number of separations, which include layoffs and resignations, also spiked by 336,000, bringing the total to 5.4 million. The unemployment rate has climbed to 4.3% since April, a potential sign of an economic slowdown. The ratio of job openings to job seekers has dropped from its peak of 2 to 1 at the end of 2022, indicating a tightening labor market. Despite these trends, markets responded with optimism, as the Dow Jones rose by more than 130 points after the report. Analysts suggest that while the job market is slowing, there is still confidence in the economy's overall resilience. In another major economic development, President Biden is expected to block Nippon Steel's proposed $14.9 billion acquisition of U.S. steel. The decision comes amid concerns over the potential impact on American jobs and national security. U.S. Steel has warned that rejecting the deal could threaten thousands of union jobs. However, Biden's administration remains firm, citing the risks of allowing a key U.S. company to fall under foreign control. While Nippon Steel argues that the merger would boost investment and secure long-term job stability, critics fear foreign ownership could undermine U.S. security in a critical industry. Former President Donald Trump made headlines again after proposing a government efficiency commission during a speech at the New York Economic Club. The commission, to be led by Tesla CEO Elon Musk, would audit federal operations and identify wasteful spending within 6 months. Musk expressed his willingness to lead the effort without pay or recognition, emphasizing his commitment to streamlining government functions. However, the proposal was met with backlash from the American Federation of Government Employees, AFGE, which represents 750,000 federal workers. AFGE President Everett Kelly criticized the plan, claiming that it would replace experienced civil servants with political appointees, potentially compromising the integrity of federal operations. President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, has pleaded guilty to federal tax charges. Hunter's decision came as a surprise and was reportedly made to spare his family from further public scrutiny. His plea marks a significant development in a long-running case, which previously led to his conviction on felony gun charges. Hunter Biden admitted to failing to pay $1.4 million in taxes and faces up to 17 years in prison, although a shorter sentence is likely. Sentencing is scheduled for December, and this latest development will undoubtedly remain in the spotlight as the case continues to unfold. And finally, Russian commentators are once again dismissing U.S. claims of election interference. On Thursday, Russian media mocked the latest accusations, while President Vladimir Putin added a teasing tone by jokingly endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris in the upcoming U.S. presidential election. Putin's comments came after the U.S. Justice Department revealed charges against 2 state media employees tied to the Russian state-owned broadcaster RT. According to the report, RT is at the center of a covert propaganda campaign aimed at influencing American voters. While the Justice Department did not explicitly name which candidate the campaign was designed to benefit, leaked internal strategy notes revealed that former President Donald Trump was the intended beneficiary. This is consistent with previous allegations of Russian interference dating back to 2016. Despite these revelations, Russian officials continue to dismiss the claims as baseless. RT's chief, Margarita Simonian, who was sanctioned in connection with the allegations, responded with sarcasm, saying, "They called from 2016 and want all their tired cliches back." In a speech from Vladivostok, Putin refrained from directly addressing the Justice Department's accusations, but took the opportunity to comment on the U.S. election. With a wry smile, he suggested that since President Biden withdrew from the race and endorsed Harris, Russia would support her too. He humorously complimented Harris on her expressive and infectious laugh, which he implied was a sign that she was doing well. Putin's mockery is consistent with Russia's long-standing stance of ridiculing U.S. concerns over election interference. Even so, U.S. intelligence officials maintain that Moscow favors Trump, given his history of praising Putin and proposing cuts to aid for Ukraine. Simonian, who has been a key figure in Russia's media landscape, openly discussed RT's role in info wars, saying the network covertly creates information sources in the U.S. to spread pro-Kremlin narratives. In fact, she suggested on a Russian talk show that RT and the CIA are engaged in a game of cat and mouse, where new sources are constantly created to replace those that are shut down. Meanwhile, Russia's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova vowed that Moscow would retaliate against U.S. media in Russia in response to the latest sanctions. This comes at a time when the Kremlin is tightening its grip on independent journalism, suffocating any form of free expression inside the country. That's all for tonight's news update. Thank you for joining us. We'll continue to monitor these stories and bring you the latest developments. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a good night. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update.